stranded but alive. No choice but to investigate PB's signal.
Pathfinder, this console controls the gate.
Few things stoke the fire in a pirate's dark heart like buried treasure. In Update 0.1, there could be riches hidden beneath the sands of any island out there on the open sea. But all great adventures begin with a promise. And that's where our maps come in. When you embark on a treasure quest in this update of the game, you'll have a map to get you sailing in the right direction. In this case, a classic X marks the spot style map. You and your crew will be relying on this map, first to pinpoint the island, then to dig up the treasure. Making this a little bit easier is the map table on your ship. This gives you a wider view of the many islands you can travel to, and your ship's position on the sea. By comparing the islands on both maps like some kind of ingenious pirate detective, you can plot a course and get your treasure hunt underway. Ideally, at some point you'll make it to the right island and face one more test of your crew's cartographic skills to track down the buried stash. There won't really be a giant red X in the sand, so you'll have to use the island's landmarks to find your way. Just like birthday celebrations and riding a seesaw, digging for treasure is much more fun with someone else. And the more of you who help to dig, the faster you'll uncover the bounty. But that's only half the voyage. For the real reward, you need to get the chest back to an outpost and cash it in. So while one pirate hauls the treasure, the others should escort them back to the ship, watching for any sly rivals who would love to score some treasure the easy way. Back on the ship, it's up to you to find a good hiding place for your precious cargo. There's still a chance that some enterprising sea dog will sneak on board and snatch it, but don't make it easy for them. Of course, the seas can be treacherous, and your crew will have to work together to reach a safe haven, fending off rival crews if they get too close. This could be a chance to test your blunderbuss or pistol by boarding their ship, to engage in a friendly exchange of ideas. If that doesn't go to plan, you'll be taking a trip to the Ferry of the Damned because, well, you'll be dead. But don't worry too much. If you and your fellow lost souls ask the captain nicely, he might escort you back to the real world and you'll be back in action. So what happens if your whole ship goes down? Well, as luck would have it, some friendly mermaids will be on hand to rescue you and your crew. Because that's what mermaids do, apparently. If, after all this, you eventually get back to an outpost with your ill-gotten gains, head to the shipwright who'll happily exchange it for gold. Well, maybe not happily, but she will exchange it. One quest, well and truly smashed. This is just a first glimpse of what's to come in Sea of Thieves, and we look forward to showing you more as we set sail through our technical alpha phase and beyond.
Holt is passing a rebel prison cage. The rebels are another faction in the game. They have their own conflict with the Santa Blanca, so they'll spontaneously engage whenever they get the chance. Nomad has just put our target into the truck and is moving towards the exit. Weaver is liberating another group of rebels. This camp is now erupting into a full gunfight between the rebels and the Santa Blanca. And to provide further disruption, we blow that C4 we placed earlier. Weaver is now headed to rejoin the others, clearing the last of the Santa Blanca in the wild who were attracted by the gunshots. So now with El Pozolero in our custody, we're going to deliver him to our rally point and learn key information about the cartel and his bosses. That's the end of the demo. I hope you enjoyed seeing our ghosts approaching this mission in stealth. Just one of the many ways you can play Ghost Recon Wildlands.
What the hell is that? It's corrupting the Watcher? Vulnerable to fire. Here we go! That was close. Strong, all right. Try jumping now! This machine, it looks ancient.
The bear is a powerful ally that will help me during challenging combats. It is also a very fast and friendly mount, which is quite handy to travel across the vast and seamless world of Wild. We finally reached the sacred location, where I will be able to summon the snake divinity in order to save the poison member of my clan, antidote, or control snake.
Oh, shit.
How do I get to the basement?
Keycard. I don't have it, but my partner always leaves his on the table.
Depending on the mission parameters, these enemies might give us different information. So in this case, we got the information on a key card that will allow us access to the basement. But due to the open nature of most of the missions in Sniper Ghost Warrior 3, we do not have to follow that path. There's still some enemies between us and the key card, so we'll try to lure some of these out with this generator. We'll turn it off to have someone come and investigate, and we'll set down an ambush for him.
Generator's dead again. Fuck.
We'll hide his body just to avoid detection in case somebody else comes. Sometimes we'll find captured civilians in the game, and we can help them if we're able to.
Please, help us! Get us out of here!
No promises, but I'll see what I can do.
Thank you, sir. Don't forget about us.
We can use scout mode to look for solutions. In this case, it's going to be fairly easy to shoot this lock
Okay,
pad to
you're
free the
free.
civilians.
Wait for things to calm down a little, and then run for your lives.
Thank you. We are forever in your debt.
Anytime we provide help like that, we're actually helping the Rotkey Lions, a resistance movement fighting against the Separatists. And maybe they'll help us in return.
John?
Conan Exiles is an open-world survival game in which you use the freeform building system to craft yourself a village or city, which you then use as a base to fend yourself. In order to dominate your enemies, you're going to need to create a safe location, a place that you can store weapons, supplies, a place which you decorate and you invite your friends to show off, a place where your clan can gather to discuss their war plans.
Building is a very important aspect of the game because it is the main way to secure your goods.
Conan Exiles has a really nice freeform building system. Basically, we've tried to create a building system which is as flexible as possible. That means that it allows you to build buildings almost anywhere.
One of the cool features that we have is that you can build a house on a mountainside if you want.
In order to craft higher tier items, players will need to create crafting stations. These are things like forges, armor making benches, woodworking benches, tanneries.
We have a huge selection of placeables and decoration. You have tables and shelves and barrels and candles.
You can craft gongs and horns, which you can use to signal the approach of your enemies or to let your friends know to open the gate. You can kill some of the hardest creatures in the game, chop off their head and have that mounted on the wall of your living room.
Some of those decorative pieces are also little toys. Like, for example, you can place an archery target that you can shoot at, and it will give you a score depending on how close to the bullseye your shot was. Thralls are another major component of crafting.
When players start to get into the thrall system, they'll be able to go out into the world and capture artisan thralls. And once you place, for example, a Stygian smith at a Stygian forge, suddenly you have access to Stygian weapons because his knowledge becomes your knowledge.